Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board the Seabourn venture. Tonight, we sail away from the beautiful city of Ushuaia, and we make our way across the Drake Passage, where there's plenty of wildlife to be found on our way to Antarctica.
As we leave the Drake, we have our first glimpse of Antarctic landscape,
as well as some other sites we may see more of along the way.
An incredible welcome to mark the start of our voyage.
As the sun sets upon our arrival, we make our way through the Lemaire Channel, a narrow valley with incredible mountains on either side. To experience a place with so much scale and natural beauty is truly breathtaking. As our first entrance into Antarctica, it was incredible. We are so lucky to be able to be in these beautiful spaces, and everything is as it should be. It was spectacular.
Hi, I'm Will Wagstaff. I'm one of the naturalists on board, specialising in birds. So this is a great place to start our tour for me, here in Petermann Island. This end of the island, you've got three species of bird all nesting really close together. You've got the Adelie penguins, which are the really hard one to see generally. Loads of gentoos, and this year lots of chicks, which is really nice. And also there's the blue-eyed shags, although more properly known nowadays as Antarctic shags, and they've got really good young as well. There's one nest a little bit behind, but the rest are doing really well. The three birds you've got here, all very different characteristics. The gentoo, of course, longer looking things overall, that long bill, orangey bill, the white sort of double flash over the top of the head, and you watch them out in the water. And the gentoos just seem to have the edge for speed. They really do go for it. The Adelies with their little white ring round the eye, shorter bill. There's a tinge of colour in the bill, but it's not really very much. A very, very dark head. And when they're displaying, they raise up the back of the crown feathers, and it gives them almost an owl-like look at times. And shorter flippers than the gentoo. It's just constant activity back and forth behind us. Penguins going off for a bathe, skuas coming in, disturbing things, terns, Wilson's petrels going over. A great place to start our cruise.
As we continue exploring on our first day in Antarctica,
We take a Zodiac cruise around the iceberg graveyard of Plano.
where we spot our first leopard seal.
For our second day, we visit the wonderful Melchior Islands.
But there's even more unique wildlife to find.
Hi, I'm Shaylin. I'm a submersible pilot. I'm also a marine scientist who studies the Antarctic seafloor, so I'm very passionate about this particular ecosystem. A lot of people, when they travel here to Antarctica, they think the seafloor is barren and void of life, but that's absolutely not true because Antarctica can be just as biodiverse and productive in some areas as some temperate and even tropical marine ecosystems. It's just that diversity looks different in polar water than we know it to look in tropical environments. This polar ecosystem is really unique. But some of my favorite things that we've been able to see are the large volcano sponges. They're thought to be the longest lived animal in the entire world, living 10 to 15,000 years, which is absolutely crazy. And I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for pycnogonids, which are also known as sea spiders, because in most places in the world, they're only about the size of a coin. But here in Antarctica, due to polar gigantism, they can get dinner plate size. Antarctica has been isolated for many years, so many of the species that we see are endemic, meaning they live here and nowhere else in the world. It's super cool to be here and to take people down and see what we find on these expeditions.
Good afternoon, everyone. We've had an action-packed day today, which started with a mainland landing at Nico Harbour. We took a magnificent hike up the hillside, which gave us beautiful views of the bay and overlooking a very, very active glacier. Nico Harbour is known for this active glacier. It's magnificently blue with big crevasses, and already today we've seen numerous carvings and even some avalanches falling from high up, as you're hearing the moans and groans of the ice. There's been lots of wildlife at Nico Harbour today. There are a lot of gentoo penguins constantly coming and going, heading to their rookeries and then back out to sea to take turns to go fishing. Unfortunately, they've been chased from all angles by these skuas. These skuas I think of as the thugs of Antarctica. They are patrolling these sites and looking for gentoo penguin eggs or maybe even a chick. And unfortunately, these gentoos are being given a hard time by these skuas. We have now relocated and we've arrived at beautiful Danko Island, where guests again are climbing the hillside, observing some Gentoo penguin rookery sites. The wildlife is definitely on show for us today. Lots of Gentoo penguins, lots of skuas. All in all, a fantastic day on the Antarctic Peninsula, starting with the mainland landing at Nico Harbour and now some fabulous walks on Danko Island.
For our next stop, we have a magical landing at Couvreville, where we couldn't have asked for a better day.
Good morning, I'm Elizabeth. I'm an archaeologist and historian on the Seabourn Venture. This morning we're at Couvreville Island and we're in amongst the penguins. The sun is shining, there's fantastic glacier and iceberg views, and the penguins have been very busy back and forth across the beach and also swimming in the water. We're getting great views of them swimming underwater. They look so cute and clumsy on land, but underwater they really are quite fast and agile. It's fun to be able to watch two sides of them. We also have a lot of birds around, and also we're finding whale bones on the beach. And the sub-teams have also found whalebone underneath the water. And this comes back to the historical period. Whalers came down here trying to find their fortune. They'd already decimated whale populations elsewhere in the world, but there was a lot that they still could find here in Antarctica. So they came down, and if you can just imagine these old wooden sailing ships, no charts, no proper clothing, and just the heavy wooden rowboats that they would bring ashore to process the whales. It must have been quite a difficult and challenging time, but also, I imagine, quite exciting. Today, the only remnants of their work that we can see are these whale bones. We have seen quite a few whales on the trip, mostly humpbacks, but hopefully we'll find some other types as well. It's just been a lot of fun watching the penguins go back and forth, go about their lives. They always seem very busy. They're busy courting, they're raising their chicks, and there's also a lot of intrigue. They're stealing stones from each other. They're fighting with the neighbors. It's really not that different from humans, and you could spend hours just watching them go about their lives.
To continue on our day's adventures, we enjoy some time in Orne Harbor,
where we get to sit back, relax, and witness some spectacular displays of wildlife.
get to watch these humpback whales is an incredibly special experience.
For such a large animal, everything they do is so graceful to watch.
A fantastic end to an amazing day before we make our final stop.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mikkelsen Harbor. My name is Erica. I am one of your Zodiac drivers and lecturers on board the Seabourn Venture as part of your expedition team. We get a beautiful, beautiful taste of proper Antarctica weather here as we get to hike to the top of Donat Island for a 360-degree view of this beautiful place surrounded by Trinity Island. We have a cluster of whale bones, presumably from a blue whale. Quite amazing. A water boat as well, remnants of these small little vessels that those whaling ships used to pull behind their boats in order to capture ice to create water for the expedition teams on those ships. We've also already seen Weddell seals, fur seals, and of course the breeding Gentoo penguins, along with the sky being decorated by skuas, kelp gulls, Antarctic terns, and the oh so beautiful southern giant petrel. After an amazing week of exploring around the Antarctic Peninsula with phenomenal weather, this makes for a truly, truly unforgettable last landing in Antarctica as it's full of history. So as we wrap up operations on Donat Island, we will pack up the ship and start heading towards the Drake, possibly with one last adventure this afternoon.
For a final stop on our voyage, we make a surprise visit to Sierra Cove.
With a fresh flurry of snow, we get to experience Antarctica in a whole new way.
making for an incredible atmosphere.
The calm, ice-filled, foggy waters of Antarctica provide a mystical and magical experience. Through the veil of dense, falling snow are distant, echoing sounds of whale blows, penguin calls, and thunderous cracks and booms of calving glaciers. Experiencing all of this while sitting at water level without the sound of an engine is an unforgettable and meditative journey one can only find while sitting silently in a kayak.
Kayaking in Sierra Cove is one of those experiences in life that you will never forget. The immensity of nature, just there for us. This is what makes kayak so special. You get a connection with nature that you cannot get in any other way.
Being in the kayak, it's a really amazing experience. You'll never know what you're going to find out. This is actually what we are loving to do when we do kayak.
It's a blessing moment, and we're very happy to have shared it with you.
As we say our goodbyes to Antarctica and head back over the Drake Passage, we look back on the amazing adventure we've had together.
The places we've been to,
the wildlife we have seen.
It's what we all take with us as we go on our own separate voyages.
We thank you all for joining us in your home, away from home.
On board your seabourn venture.
and until next time.